Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe. We're going to talk about, are we too sensitive? Often we'll hear that from the narcissist. And we just want a healthy environment, especially if you're living with the person or planning a future with them. And the narcissist over time will start to devalue us. So we start to feel this imbalance and we just want to regain that balance. We want to feel comfortable in our own skin. We start walking on eggshells, processing in our mind, do we bring this up to the person? How do we bring it up? How will they react? Is it worth subjecting ourselves to a poor response to where it's more abuse? So we start walking on eggshells. So we're portraying that we're kind of sensitive, like, meek and uncertain, hurt. And it's okay to want to have a comfortable environment, to not feel tension or feel the devaluation of yourself, because you know you're a valuable person. And the narcissist has these little jabs. So sometimes when we try to analyze it, we're like, was that really that big of a deal? Should I say anything? But over time, if it's affecting you, it needs to be talked about. But narcissists don't like to take accountability. They just want to say what they want to say. They don't think about how it's going to affect you. And when you bring it up to them, they have to take accountability. They have to take time away from what they're doing to discuss things with you. So they'll be dismissive a lot of times. They'll turn it around on you. There is nothing wrong with wanting balance in your life. And it's just a toxic relationship. So it's abuse and it's not oversensitivity. You shouldn't have to accept abuse. And, if it wasn't abusive, you wouldn't feel anything negative. I mean, I want you to think about that. If it wasn't abusive, you wouldn't be feeling the negativity. There's something there that is telling you that you're hurt in some way. So being overly sensitive, it's something is telling you something's wrong. And you want to communicate with a narcissist. There's times you can't have unrealistic expectations, to where, let's say you went into your computer room, you're working on the computer, and your spouse thought that you were asleep, so they didn't come upstairs to the computer room to say, hey honey, I'm home, because they thought you were asleep. And you're like, they just ignored me. And it's like they didn't even know. So in those kind of situations, if you have unrealistic expectations, that's just like the narcissist. They want us to assume what they want. So you can't assume that everything is always going to work out. But if you talk to somebody and you say good morning, and they're right in your face and they ignore you, or they just kind of scoff it off, that's hurtful. You're trying to communicate with someone. You just want acknowledgement, and kind acknowledgement, not the hateful glare. So I want you to understand that when you start to feel something, and it's during an interaction, and you've expressed your feelings and things like that, and nothing's getting better, it's not oversensitivity. It's lack of sensitivity from your narcissist. So it's not you being oversensitive. They have a lack of sensitivity towards what you're trying to express. Because there's adjustments that can be made in a relationship. You can't always get things immediately. So if you're like, I need a hug every day, and to schedule it at 6:52 a.m. every day, might be unrealistic. So if you need that hug, you can schedule a hug throughout the day, sometime after work or sometime before bed. So when you start to feel something, and you start to walk on eggshells, the narcissist sees the pain that they're inflicting on you. And they hate when you walk on eggshells because that reflects back to them where they know that they cause some pain to you. And they get more dismissive. Um, and we tend not to want to stand up to our narcissist so much because when we try to, they knock us down. They keep the control, and they're so dismissive. We have a fear that they're going to leave us if we take a stand. So accepting abuse is not oversensitivity. If your narcissist isn't willing to acknowledge the unhealthiness of the interactions, a lot of times it's just, it seems like it's something simple, but it's a pattern that repeats over and over and over again. Just like that Chinese water torture, one little drop on your head is not going to bother you. But when it's repeated and repeated, it can feel like your skull's about to break. And that's where we're like, okay, I took that one. I took that cut down. I took this incident. And over time, it builds up, so there's things that we've brushed off, that one little water droplet on our head. We brush that off. But over time, we start getting more and more uncomfortable because something is wrong. Your heart is telling you something is wrong with the way you're being treated. So you're not oversensitive. You're starting to absorb the abuse, and you need to expel it. And sometimes we do it through communication. And, if a person really cares about you, they will take it to heart, what your wishes are, what your, I did something on, sometimes we can't be unrealistic where we expect the person to know that they're hurting us. Sometimes if they're like, hey, Slim, and you're like, I've been trying to gain weight, and please don't call me that, or something like that. If they think they're giving you a compliment, but you don't like the compliment, because my sister, it was kind of crazy. My sister hated my grandpa because he would call her gorgeous. He's like, hey, gorgeous. She hated him because she thought that gorgeous meant handsome, which is what boys were called. And it was just miscommunication. So in that realm, it's like an oversensitivity because of miscommunication. Like, she got the compliment, and it's like she just didn't process it the right way. And sometimes words we say are meant kind-hearted, but they're taken the wrong way. So that's why communication is important. But if they don't take that to heart, and they keep, saying what they feel is a compliment, but you take it as an insult, and you express like, look, and it's just me, but it hurts me. So could we just like change how we talk about, or, address each other? And they don't really need to process why that bothers you. We even give them the reason why. They might not relate to it, but the fact that we told them that it's hurting us, and even try to explain why, hoping that that would click with them. If they don't take it to heart and change out of respect, it's abuse. You expressed a boundary, you even told them why, most likely, and they don't have the respect because they have already started to devalue you. Because when you ask them something, it makes them have to look at you as a person. They look at you as an object. They don't want to take the time to remember these things. It's easier to just say you're oversensitive, so they don't have to think about it. They can still say whatever they want, because that's what a narcissist does is everything is about them. They don't want to take the time to think about other people's feelings. They just want to act. They just want to say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do. So it is not being oversensitive to want to discuss your feelings with someone. And the fact that you feel that need is telling you that you're going through abuse. And I just thought that was important for you to know that if you're feeling that way, it's because of abuse. Like you didn't just wake up and feel unsettled. You either felt the tension from your narcissist. Like obviously there's an issue we need to discuss, because there should be no tension between two people that love each other. There can be compromises, and there should be no resentment. It should be happy to do things for each other, or happy that they're taking turns with us. Like we might not necessarily want to go do something with them, but we love them, and that's why we do it. But it's the opposite when we ask them to do something for us that might not be exactly what they wanted. And it's important to take good care of your mental health. It should be, you know, we discussed it, and we're going to change it. We're going to work on it, and things get healthy again. So just take it to heart that, you know, when you start walking on eggshells, that's when you need to take a stand, because it's just going to allow the cycle to continue. It gives them power over us, and there needs to be a balance. So I just wanted you to know that it's important to stand up for yourself, to set your boundaries. And sometimes it's hard, but if we keep walking on eggshells, we're giving them more and more power. And the narcissist, you know, goes through these cycles that just get so confusing. So sometimes they'll love bomb us and then take it away. And that's where you start getting that trauma bond. And that is so unhealthy. So take a stand. Don't take the abuse. And really analyze the relationship. How healthy is it? How happy are you in it? Is it worth always trying to adjust and correct and walk on eggshells and think and process? And you're already starting to go through that trauma bond. And narcissists are easy to be dismissive, to discard. And the longer you stay in these relationships, the more damage. And it is terrible to heal from these. So the sooner you leave, if you've tried with this person and they're just not getting it, think about your mental health, because actual brain damage can happen, physical ailments. And I had somebody reply, once they left, you know, their diabetes got back under control. They had acid reflux, that's under control now that they've left. So just be prepared to take a stand. And that's when you're going to know the value of the relationship. Because love, people work through things. People take to heart what their lover is saying, as opposed to being dismissive or turning it around or being angry. So you're not oversensitive, you're feeling abuse. So I just thought that was something to point out, because a lot of times we hear we're too sensitive, or we start to question, are we oversensitive? I don't think so. So have a good day. Please like and subscribe, comment below. One-on-ones are available, and I'll see you in the next video.